I don't fucking know. You guys might have just heard a lot of music. I can't help it. This fucking computer. I don't have Paul here. Paul is replaced by this blue ribbon here. Hey, Paul, how are you? You got skinnier, dude. Good for you. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, man, religion. Of course, religion was gonna go extreme, and of course, like the Pope, dude, the Pope. There's like for those of you in other countries, Romanians, we have the Orthodox Church, right? Like Christian Orthodox, and there's the Catholics, which everybody knows about. And every time the Pope, there's like a good relation in between the two churches or whatever. But every time the Pope comes in Romania, these fucking like leeches, like these two holy fucking leaders of the Romanian Christian church, they can't even like they rip each other apart just to like glue shoulders with the Pope so they appear in a fucking picture. You know what I mean? But like Saturday, I think the Pope was doing sermons and even advising the Catholic people to do sermons, and he's still doing them every day, I think, right? With like 5 people, and he's bishops or whatever the fuck, right? Not the Romanian church though. Now, like everybody acts like fuck that shit. What? Our tap is running out. It's so hard to be patient with these people because on one hand, like people less fortunate than we need it. On the other hand, they're like leeches. They couldn't even pull the plug in the last second when the fucking nation, the humanity, the good of the nation and the overall humanity, right? They couldn't even pull the plug then. Like everybody wasn't allowed to fucking go, yet the law didn't have the fucking tools or the power to fucking shut these fucking gates because probably half of the law is in the fucking pocket of the church. So nobody dares to fucking say anything. And like I said last episode in Romanian, people of all religion, I'm sure like a lot of those preachers preach from a place of, love or whatever. But even the more wiser ones who were like, okay, this is no time to fucking do this. They couldn't say shit within the chain of that religion, especially here, the Romanian Orthodox Church, right? They can't say shit because if they do, he'll move them like after all this passes, if it passes, and we some sort of normality reemerges, he'll never do this job close to home again. He'll have to relocate it, all that shit. So they can't say shit. The system is built in such a way that they have to shut the fuck up from the inside too. Nobody said shit, and now there's people infected from a church. Not to mention what the fuck's happening in the northern of the country in Suceava with the hospitals. It's pretty devastating. What the fuck can you do? I have some notes about what the fuck I wanted. I fucking lost them. Where's Paul? Paul, I need you. Are you even watching motherfuckers? Motherfucker. Hold on. Whatever. Talk to me. Let me talk to these people. That guys, there's no starting over. It's the chaos that what the fuck was. I'm just trying to chill here with you guys. Like I said in the beginning, maybe you didn't heard it because of the music. This is just a chill podcast where we shoot the shit, and I want to read some of how you guys living. Marius Balan. Much appreciation from Yash. What's up, Cosmin? What's going on? I think every religious leader's like fucking hand is shaking right now. And in every like crisis like this, they preach like their God is gonna fucking save or whatever the fuck, right? And but they're like, fuck it. I hope those science people fix it quick, right? And when they do, what who the fuck people thank? The church. It's sad when you're fucking like normally you would be like live and let live, right? You're like even if somebody wasn't privileged with an education or maybe had access to it and then pursue it, maybe you find understanding if it's a good person and to each his own, right? You try to live your life like that. But in cases like this where your family safety and your safety and everybody's safety depends on the IQ of everybody. Shit. I'm kind of like surprised how surprised all these like social media influences are of how stupid people are, right? With all this chaos going on, and it's kind of like the bubble is bursting for a lot of people. Like, not everybody was online. Not everybody is. We're all in a bubble, right? So now it's kind of coming out like, oh, that's right. Not everything is brunches at 10 fucking $30 brunches at 10 a.m. and whatever the fuck shit. There's people who don't have possibilities to do, like right now to earn a living, to fucking even earn their medicine if they're outside. And now all these hipsters realize how much their lifestyle dependent on those people doing their jobs, right? Like truck workers and maybe, I don't know, garbage people and all this shit. So all my friends say like, this is probably going to be a wake up call. Call me pessimist Nelly, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys know? You think fucking something's going to change? Probably not. Raluca Ioana says, I shower every day and I'm changing my clothes every day to avoid losing my mind. And that's a healthy behavior. I fully understand it and I don't adhere to it 100%. No, that's a good mentality. You have to keep yourself sane. And, like there was that meme going around a few days ago. Even if you go out to take your garbage, you kind of like put makeup on. Not makeup, but obviously you going to work. I did that with my girl too. Like dress up for like in jeans and whatever the fuck, sit your ass down and do your work. The last week though, I wasn't that productive at all. A lot of my projects got canceled, got a bit depressed. And then when I got like a little bit of jump of trying to get things started again, kind of came up with a plan in this period, keep boiling it in my head. Then you want it speedy, and the people you depend on, who you could have accessed, a while ago. Now they're too busy because they're figuring shit out, so everything is delayed. I'm sure everybody is like this, so it's cool. I wanted to since Paul isn't here and he won't be able to make it for a while. I was thinking to do Romanian podcasts too, and also to have my girl on. Maybe in the Romanian ones, if she feels confident enough, she can join me in the English ones. And maybe you guys can ask us more of he/she questions, opinions, and all this stuff. Something to keep ourselves busy while we witness the chaos. Fucking ironically, like all we have to do is witness, like a lot of us, and we don't. Problem with all this martial law, I think, is that they're not gonna be able to enforce it, right? There aren't that many troops to keep the peace and order. Sure, you hear like in the big cities, they go around with the horn thing, like stating out the rules and everything, and they have excuse me, police filters and all this. But in all the villages and all the like small cities, no way they can enforce it. I don't know. It's obviously gonna get worse before it's gonna get better. So, yo, I got something to say. I have a friend. She's kind of religious, and she said that the wine that people drink at the church is no coronavirus. No, she's not the girl that was in my videos and vlogs a while ago. No, no, no. It's her friend. um, and if we cut the church Sunday meetings, the church as a whole belief is gonna go down. Yeah, dude, but you can't like cherry pick. Like it's so easy to play smart right now and like find the stupidest person and promoting all that shit. On the one side, on the other side, you kind of have to call out the major like dangerous things you see, so you can be chilling too if you want to help. I guess any way that you can to kind of now it's like everybody's inside. It's like a true wave of information. I think if you could witness graphically from Google how everybody's talking about what they're talking about, I think there are like major like data waves and everybody's influencing everybody through memes and everything, right? And there's like a consensus and a counter consensus and they clash and then people denounce each other. It's kind of like a bit communism-y, but in a good way, I guess, in this situation. It's crazy. You can't cherry pick the stupid people. Just try to focus on whoever's doing something right. If you can help. If you don't, I don't know. Don't spread hate, I guess. Spread humor if you can. But even that is like, it's oversaturated. You have to like also maintain your sanity. It's a whole fucking thing, right? Oh shit. They can hear me? 1 2 1 2. I don't know what the fuck. I'm not even sure there's levels now. Let me have my girl here. Fucking cunt, Marius. It's on your end, dude. Where are you, Paul? What the fuck was I saying? I'm too fucking. I don't know, dude. I want to talk to you guys, but obviously you guys want to fuck around. There it is. Right. What the fuck was I going to say? Hey, what's up, buddy? The Biban Deutschpe. The Biban Deutschpe. Dude. All right, so how about you guys in the comments? Right, take like a minute and write like some coagulated questions you guys want to talk about. I'm gonna take a second and relax. Go through my notes, and then we'll continue. The economical crisis, dude. Marius asks, "What about the economical crisis?" It's not even begun. I mean, there's no now. It's the downfall, I guess. It's just begun, and then the crisis will be at its lowest point. You could argue, right? Um, I don't know. It's pretty. I think industries are just adapting right now. Everybody's scrambling to figure out how they can maintain their business model alive. What do you work in HR? Okay, how do we do these interviews? What type of companies still want to hire? Right, entire industries shift. Like programming becomes like it reorientates itself towards, I don't know, whatever the hell. Even manufacturers like create goods that are needed. It's nice to see the whole effort everybody's putting in, but I'm afraid that it's like a first push, you know what I mean? And in about a month, I hope I remember in a month and check the status, but in about a month when the chaos is going to be way deeper than this and the resources start to plunge, it's going to be, I'm afraid it's going to be, everybody feels like it's like a one big push right now, but it's just the beginning. And we got to prepare for the long run, be it business or, human trying to earn a living. So prioritize, close some accounts, do whatever the fuck you have to do to adapt. On the one side, you could live on a more reduced salary. I think is normal for some companies to propose in the next few months, even the companies that still have activities, to propose to their employees a reduced pay. And I don't know, I guess we're going to have to make do. On the one hand, maybe you can make do. It depends on how much your like strict necessities you have, was that covered by your salary, and maybe you had like quite a margin there to like waste on shitty little things. Now maybe you can afford to lose 25% of it. Then again, you don't waste, you don't eat lunch at the cafeteria, you don't waste any money on gas and all this shit. So you don't have to shower that much detergent. So maybe that saves you a few bucks, but ultimately everybody's gonna feel it, and some people will feel it harder than others. So I guess the most humane thing to do right now is to truly be realistic about like kind of a lifestyle you're trying to maintain while keeping your sanity, and then redirecting as much as you can from your profits to the people who need it. And this is not just one of those things you share right now, it's one of those things you do. Speaking of which, and Paul said I should say this, I forgot. I know there's only like $60 or whatever the hell on Patreon, but starting this month, everything until this crisis ends, everything that's on Patreon is gonna go directed to somebody who hopefully can use it. Maybe I'll decide each end of the month or whatever the hell. It's not much, but it's $60. Maybe it helps somebody. If it grows higher, everything goes there. Just thought you guys should know. Shout out to my pal Valentin. Everybody's like readapting masks, right? Like scuba diving masks, to and retrofit them with 3D printed materials so they can fit an oxygen tank and provide more oxygen beds to people. And I reshared something. A guy said that they need people who have 3D printers. So people are banding up together, and my buddy Valentin Cristescu told me to, if I know the guy, I said no, just contact him, and he said he's going to donate 150 masks too, like the full cover ones that you can adapt. He works at Intersport, so shout out to them too for doing this, and hopefully he'll be able to take, get them retrofitted, or the people who receive them, and get it in doctors' hands as soon as possible. Thank you, buddy. You're one of the greatest. I know we didn't speak in years, but yeah, cheers to you. I like this part. Everybody's coming together. Everybody who helps. Like they band together online, and you can see it. The problem is in between. You have to deal with the other side too. The the people who maybe are angry and nobody truly knows. So you might have convinced yourself of one thing, and it's like the most crucial time to treat this humbly, and in a sense that we don't know. Like I said 2 weeks ago, like nobody fucking knows if it's if it's man-made, if it's not. But it's probably not man-made. Oh shit! I discovered like a friend of mine, Anne-Marie Kelario, I think she's a vlogger too. She posted this picture. Tell me you saved it, you dumb fuck. No, this is another picture. She posted this picture of this doctor who did a thesis, right? You guys might have seen it or might see it. All right, so it's like a print screen of a paper, what looks like a paper, and it's by it's called Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus as an Agent, Emergent and Re-emerging Infection, and this paper is from 2007. It's by a bunch of, I think, Chinese doctors, yeah, from the University of Hong Kong, and this text is highlighted saying the presence of a large reservoir of SARS-CoV-like viruses in horseshoe bats, together with the culture of eating exotic mammals in the southern China, it's like a time bomb. So this was like, somebody called it in 2007, right? 13 years ago. The presence of a large reservoir of SARS viruses is like a in horseshoe bats. I think these were horseshoe bats, right? Together with the culture of eating exotic mammals in China, it's like a time bomb. Fuck out of here, dude. You think it will change? Wasn't the SARS 2002, who was also like a quite close crisis, but they moved faster then, and they stomped it, and they made a vaccine pretty quick, I think, right? 4 years later, somebody writes a fucking paper, and 13 years later, 2020, this fucking paper called it, and it's nobody did shit, and a lot of people are gonna die now, and I'm not sure a lot will change, or if it does, it will be very slow, and we have to, I guess, do our best not to forget. That seems so far in the future, though. No. The only way an insurance can be profitable is by changing people at a higher, charging people a higher average than what needs to go back to them. You guys having a whole fucking argument here, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Marius Bolan says, no, let's take them in order. Claudio Robert says, I'm not sure to what extent it's just the beginning. If the lockdowns will be executed, it will be harder to enforce them. People are going nuts already. Well, people are going to get a fucking dose of wake the fuck up pretty quick. Of course, on the one hand, there's this. On the other hand, you have to, like, everybody's afraid, and fucking rightfully so, that so many freedoms are lost to citizens in all of the states of the world, that the people in power will kind of start enjoying them, and before you know it, like usual, will give up a lot of civil liberties and for the relative illusion of being safe, right? Let's call it. That's what a lot of people are afraid of, but it's too early to call now. This is not the time to argue that. There's no question on anybody's mind that these measures are not necessary if they weren't fucking 3 weeks ago. I still don't understand how the fucking state doesn't have the power to to close the church doors. I can't. Jesus Christ. Religion will never have enough, and now everybody's fucking crumbling, and then after the scientists help us go through this, they'll take the claim. They'll take reap the rewards. It's always the fucking same. Where was I? So Chuta Robert. Okay, I read Robert. Marius Bolan. What about the import-export ratio? How do you think that's going to be affected while every country will try to close and help its own economy? Well, you can only help your own economy so far. As far as you still have natural resources and some sort of infrastructure to create the strict goods necessary for a time like this, and if you're owned by corporations, all that shit, you don't have it. And Romania is a colony state, right? Like, we are part of the reason we're doing relatively well is that we sold everything, lands and everything, to corporations, forests, whatever. I feel nothing towards this. I mean, of course, it was sadness in a younger version of me, but then I realized there's nobody gonna change it, right? We're just accelerating mold, right, on a sandwich, like Joe Rogan said, and try your best to help locally, and that's it, right? But since we don't have since the border is going to be relatively closed for a while, I guess the best we can do is try to buy Romanian products, right? And my mother's business, she has a jam and marmalade factory, right? Her sales are going up right now, like they never been before, because like people are trying to buy locally. Yeah, probably even state institutions who trying to make provisions, they realize it's produced locally, right, from local raw materials. Everything is self-sustaining. It's a jam product, so it has, like, you can keep it for a while, years or whatever, right? So they just like the I guess this is like one example that I have like palpable, but I'm sure a lot of industries have to adapt right now to kind of take back, in a sense, or try to like self-sustain as much as possible. And then for what you don't have, you will have to import. There's only so much adapting you can do, and we're one of the lucky ones. But imagine there are countries who have virtually no natural resources, or they have just, I don't know, oil or something, right? You know, they don't have nothing. I don't think the imports and exports, eventually they'll find a way around that, because they have to. I don't think any country our size, I don't want to say size, any country like us has the ability to self-sustain. But the ability that we do have should be stretched to the max right now. Like, everybody should be flexing. Like, buy Romanian products if you can. Just try to help out in any way financially the state through the economy, right? Like, and even the NGOs or whatever. Raluca Iwana, I work in the private health sector. You have no idea how many people are contacting us now to purchase an insurance. They are desperate in the case that they get sick and have treatment outside of Romania. Get sick to have treatment. Oh shit, yeah. Well, how would you even calculate? Like, I'm sure insurance is like complicated. Like, there's a lot of factors you take into consideration to come up with those rates, right? And now you have one variable that you can't even predict. So how would you even make insurance for that? I don't think it's feasible. I mean, nobody can guarantee nobody nothing, right? Yet. So I'm sure there has to be the insurance company. Oh, you leeches. Of course, they'll adapt somehow, right? But I don't know. It doesn't seem feasible to even want to purchase insurance. I mean, you can purchase insurance, but the problem is way more rooted right now. I mean, you're even scared to go to a hospital for a fucking like broken arm or some shit, right? Because no, you don't fucking know. There's too much chaos. So I think we have to really double down on our staying inside. We have to curve this a little bit. In the meanwhile, I think every company economically kind of has to figure out how they can help their employees. The state tries to help the companies. It's in everybody's interest to help each other out right now because companies can't quit on their employees or they'll crash, right? Too much. The ones that have to, they have to. Like one of my close friends, his brother worked at Terme, which was kind of like a water park here in Bucharest, Romania. Like and who the fuck goes to a water park? So they have to lay him off, right? He was a chef cook there. What are you gonna do? Keep him? You can't even afford to pay him half for what? All your money is made like through a circulation of humans. So yeah, a lot of businesses will crash, a lot will adapt, and it's in everybody's interest to keep each other alive. And of course, the money will be made by the people who have money now, right? Everything crashes, the stock crashes. Whoever the fuck has money is gonna buy everything, and I don't know, everything will be owned by the Chinese, I guess. In the end, who the fuck knows? I don't know. um. All right. So Raluca. Are you guys fucking discussing insurance policy right now, dude? What the fuck's wrong with you? This fuck insurance policy. No offense, Raluca Ioana. I'm sure it's very important, but it's the least of the world's problems. In countries with, like, I get it if it's the U.S. and I think this is what Raluca was talking about, or other countries that you're not covered in. But to even, you know, like right now is so much urgent than insurance and trying. How would you even figure out a rate? You can put a sum, but then let's say you fly somewhere, you can still fly, and then you catch it there, and then they have to hospitalize you on a breather for like 2 weeks, and then the insurance has to cover that sum, I guess. But nobody will take you now. The whole world is in crumbles, at least from a health providing stance, right? So that's not like everybody. I don't know. I don't even understand why insurance matters right now. So we're 45 minutes and we still have like at least 15 minutes to kill, baby. What else did you see online? Did you see something worthy? All right. Nobody's writing comments anymore. And yeah, I heard this fucking news. Like, my mom called me about it. And like, she saw somewhere on TV that somebody in Timisoara found a vaccine. People just throwing fucking words around because you realize how, like, how the fuck can you even say that? So like some researchers from Timisoara from the oncogen.ro clinic, they discovered a vaccine. My mom told me this fucking thing before I went live. And it's like, really, like, everybody's working on it, all the biggest pharmaceutical industries, and it was here. I hope it is, but why would you just share and post this directly? Maybe they made some advancements, but nobody can guarantee a vaccine. Why the fuck are people throwing words like this? I don't understand. Maybe it's the need to cling on to hope, right? But I'm curious about this. Yeah, in Suceava, Raluca says in Suceava, I think hospitals closed because docs were infected. Yeah, they were infected, and it's pretty heavy up there, as far as I know. It's pretty heavy, but no way there's a vaccine. Like, not they can say, if they're gonna make some news, at the least they should title it properly, right? But no, these bitches want clicks. Fucking vaccine. What about the new movie, Miami Beach or something? What the fuck is this? I don't know what movie you're talking about. Huh? Oh, is that movie Bro made? Shit, I didn't. I saw the trailer. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it one day, and I'll feed you the results here. No offense to Bro, but I'm sure he worked hard on it. And we were talking the other day in the comments on Facebook about piracy and all this shit a little bit. I was pulling his chain a little bit. I understand it's a lot of work, but it doesn't look like my type of humor. We'll see. If we're gonna stay inside long enough, I'll probably want to see it and like cut it, apart bit by bit and kind of analyze it a little bit. Maybe you guys would enjoy that. Would you? Write to me in the comments. Mm-mm-mm. Righty, right. It must be scary for women who are close to giving birth right now. It must be horrible. Can you imagine, dude, having to go in a hospital and like deliver a baby nowadays? It must be horrible. These fucking kids, the ones, who will be born right now, they'll be reminded till the day somebody who remembers this will die, right? Like, they'll always be reminded, you fuckers, you don't know what you lived through. How are you guys? I mean, I know there's like 30 people watching, but how are you guys dealing with living at home? You're trying to stay sane, disconnected. You're trying to look. Are you looking at puppies? Are you fucking psyching out on theories? Do you make love? Do you fight? Do you still like your kids? No, I mean it. Like, I can't help but think there's so many mothers who think they have pure angels. And, kids are animals. We've all been kids. And they adapt, right? So they can adapt for a couple hours every day. Mom comes tired. She's like, cool, you have a good kid. Now they see him like every day. He's not at kindergarten anymore. Shit, must be hard. I'm sure it's easy if they're sweeties. If you didn't put too much time in them, though, you're paying tenfold right now. Shit. Almost spilled my drink. Who else has it bad? People with autoimmune diseases have it real bad. I see now that there's a few cases in some church in Bucharest too, baby, today. 6 people. Jesus fucking Christ. Before, like, and then it was the one in the north of the country too. I think there was another church somewhere. Yeah. I'm sure it's the same in every country. Shit, I can barely convinced my mom to not fucking go anymore. And she still goes to work. Yeah, it's surrounding everybody, and you got to keep cool, I guess. Chutaru Robert tried some video games, but not much good stuff. Waiting for the new Mountain Blade this week. Oh, Mountain Blade. I tried to disconnect myself with some video games. I played, like I said last week, I played Mad Max, which is a beat 'em up, but it has a pretty decent story. It's definitely underrated. It keep you busy. You can upgrade your car and shit, and the story is kind of like conceptual, but it's gore with the heart. You know what I mean? And it has gore, and you expect it to be this dumb fucking thing, which it is. But then afterwards, the story is real. Like in certain moments, it's psychological and shit, and it's real freaky. So I liked it. That kept me busy for a few days, and now I installed the. I got the Outer Worlds, it's called, and they just released a patch. It's an RPG. I gotta confess, it's okay. It's made by Bethesda, who I think they made one of my favorite games of all time. I think they made more, but Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic 2 and 1, right? And it's kind of like everybody describes it as Fallout in space. I like the many options you have, and you can really role play and whatever the fuck. And I'm all about the dialogue. I play with cheats if it's too hard. Fuck that shit. I'm too old to be doing levels too many times. I want to see the story. But as far as the talking to people and shit, it's good. But the graphics are Fallout / Skyrim with the graphical update. It looks pretty good for what it is, but there's no angles or anything. It's just that stupid straight ahead 90-degree camera and you speak with everybody like they're a fucking mannequin. I get it. It's a AA game or whatever the fuck it was just supposed to be, a AAA game, but for what it is, it wastes some hours. It's pretty good, but it's the side companions aren't that good. The missions are, the combat is so and so. I don't know. I got this one. I don't know. In a sense, I rather start focusing on work more starting like tomorrow. I'll definitely play to keep myself disconnected for a few hours, but I think I indulged in it a bit too much in the last period, but it also helped me keep my sanity a little bit because I was so kind of worried, especially about my family, who just wouldn't fucking understand. I'd be yelling about this shit 3 weeks ago, and I ain't be yelling like go fucking buy fucking toilet paper and shit by the fucking gallons. I was like, just make a few groceries, try to stay inside, like don't go to the church, grandma, don't go to the church, mom, all this shit, my cousin, whatever. And it really was fucking tripping me out. But like everybody else, we have to like push on. It's like a lot of people say, and when there's a war, we could have been out. Now, what the fuck we have to do is try our best to stay in and help as much as we can. If not, try not to get in the way. You know what I mean? It's the best you can do. No, I know. I know some people have to work. I have no doubt about that. You gotta keep yourself protected too. And I'm sure the people who have to go to work, they're fucking, they have to do that shit because they have to. You know what I mean? They're not like, okay, I could do this. Definitely, either they're essential or it's essential for the living. It's that simple. I ain't judging. I said the people who can't. I think that if truly only the people who had to go right now and would be careful about it would go, truly, 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 I think we could curb this in fucking 2 months, but it won't be so. If there's one thing I can say useful this podcast, because all I've done was shooting shit and chilling until then. If there's one thing I can say is, and also the fucking 30 of you watching, transmit it to your people. Easter's around the corner, and people are gonna lose their shit. All right, even with all the things you have to fill out to go on the street or wherever the fuck, it's not enforceable to a degree. So start spreading the fucking message now that if you do want to have Easter, because people are gonna do it anyway, right? At least the people who like they're fuck it, we're gonna be fine, right? The deniers, just tell them, dude. At least if you can, and you don't have to go to work. What is the incubation period? 5 days, 7 days? Like, truly make provisions if you can for fucking 7 days, but truly, because I made with my girl, but we still had to go out and like every 4 days to kind of fill out what's missing. Make provisions then, like 7 days before Easter. Truly stay inside. Sit your fucking ass inside, and no fucking calmers or whatever the fuck. Just if you have a headache, let it run. Don't take a calmant. It might hide your symptoms if you have any, right? So just be aware of your body. Try to stay as healthy as possible. And if in those 7 days that you didn't have contact or whatever the fuck, then go visit your mom who's with your dad, and then there can be like a table of 5 of you. But this has to be done by everybody in that circle. Like, if it's gonna be possible, who knows? We'll be in 2 weeks, right? But most likely a lot of people are going to do it. So instead of yelling at them or being surprised then that they're going to do it, just start telling this to people, at least to the people who you think might do it, right? Or who have the possibility to work from home. Like, dude, who you want to be with your close friends who are your neighbors, next door or next block? Cool. Like, fucking dude, can you guys stay 5 days? All right, well, we're good, you're good. I say don't do it, but if you're gonna do it, fucking at least do this. Don't just go a day after. I was fine until now. Just fucking had the sniffle yesterday or whatever, but I'm good today. Like, I don't know. I think I'm afraid of Easter, dude. I never thought I was gonna say that, but I'm afraid of Easter. Worldwide. Fuck. I don't understand, dude. Marius, you work in a supermarket? If you do, yeah, it's hardcore, dude. You're out there on the front lines too, as far as I'm concerned. For these fucking poor people who have to like work at checkout or even in supermarkets or even the people carrying and stuff, this was gone for so long that nobody knows right now. They didn't have windshield protections, nothing, gloves, nothing. Only starting last week, they started to pop up for the employees, right? Yeah, fucking big ups to you. Chuta Robert, and even if the curve is this thing, dyslexic dude and stupid, strong combination. And even if you curve this thing with an incubation period that is that long, what are the chances of a round 2? Dude, I don't know. There's a high chance of a round 2. I don't think this is going away too quickly. Do you realize the world is run by some egomaniacs at the moment in every corner of the world? They're so egomaniacs. Trump in America, the fucking Chinese dude in China, right? Fucking Putin, who you fucking name it. Like, it's so ego driven that they don't admit they still play their silly politics, stupid fucking games, and they didn't test. And that's what I'm just reflecting my thought from last week's podcast in Romanian. But I'm afraid that then it's going to be a war, right? Because people are going to run out of resources and they barely can keep it under control, and somebody doesn't give a shit and they fall too much, so they're going to start starving. We're going to start attacking each other. I'm not sure what I'm afraid of first, because I'm civil war first in each of the countries because of poverty and lack of medicals and people dying, and then eventually war in between countries because resources. I don't know. This is of course a worst case scenario, but I always, maybe it's the pessimist in me. Of course, all pessimists call themselves realists, right? But I hope that's not reality. I'm just, it's a thing I worry about because there's not enough testing. Russia, I think, up until last week said they had none or like 3 or whatever the fuck. So I don't know. We definitely have to. If we don't beat it one way, it's gonna beat us, and the survivors are gonna survive. But at least we gotta buy the doctors and the researchers enough time to handle this shit and keep it afloat. And that's done now, not just by pissing on each other. It's also done by encouraging each other. And if there is gonna be, social media until now has been like a virtue podium for everybody to show off. Now comes the time to, put your money where your mouth is, right? So yeah. Did you buy a crossbow yet? Robert asks. I have toothpicks. I have toothpicks and money elastic bands. And I'm going to get some more soon because there ain't going to be no more money. Hoo-wee. No, we'll try to keep afloat everybody. Well, I hope. It was a slow one, guys. I'm going to leave you because I got things to churn myself. Thank you for joining me. The 15 on Facebook. And probably the same on YouTube, and probably the same on Facebook. Stay safe, and hopefully with more energy. I will see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. GMT +2. Follow me, Edro Marcial, on Instagram. And I bid you health.